This is the sort of earthquake that we worry about happening on the San Andreas Fault here in California, a 7.8.
That's Jonathan Stewart, a professor and civil engineering expert at UCLA. We talked to him about the devastating earthquake damage this week in Turkey and Syria and why exactly we're seeing so many scenes like these.
The quality of the building stock remains a major problem. Their building code is fine, actually. The issue is enforcement, number one, and the issue is also legacy buildings. So older buildings that were not well constructed or well designed and that remain and have not been retrofitted, particularly in areas that have not had recent earthquakes like this one.
He says it's very unlikely we'd see this kind of massive, widespread damage from an earthquake in the U.S. due to stronger building codes. The destruction he's seeing now reminds him of another earthquake in Turkey that he studied early in his career in 1999.
Many collapsed structures. It just looks so familiar, so depressingly familiar to see that again.
Experts like Professor Stewart study earthquakes to help find ways to keep buildings standing and people safe.
We will learn from it. There's a whole community of researchers who are dedicated to reconnaissance when these kind of things happen. You know, the aim, of course, being over time to better understand the risk from earthquakes and to reduce our societal risk.
Survivors being pulled from the wreckage of a devastating earthquake that hit parts of Turkey and Syria Monday. Searchers picked piece by piece through layers of concrete and debris, and crowds of civilians stepped in to help in a race to find those who were trapped before darkness and cold set in. Tens of thousands of people left homeless by the 7.8 magnitude quake, followed hours later by a 7.5 magnitude aftershock, faced temperatures dipping into the 20s overnight. Throughout the day Monday, the death toll continued to rise, with thousands killed or injured. Entire blocks of buildings were reduced to piles of rubble. International groups and nations around the world are sending search and rescue teams, humanitarian aid, and other assets to assist. If you'd like to help, the International Federation of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent is leading fundraising efforts.
All right, Shalom. Now let us start off by saying, Ka halayim la Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakak Radash Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone and my elder Heroine as well. Salutations to the occupant that are pushing this truth, the sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, I'm Kanaksan by Yashar from the Lions in the Yashar camp. And yeah, from the clips that you can see in the beginning, they're pulling people from I think the death toll is up to 4,000, 4 to 5,000 people from this earthquake that happened in Turkey and Syria. And it was tremors found and felt in other parts of that region also, like Georgia and other places like that. But massive, devastating disaster, but it's all according to the will of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And Yahushai spoke of these things, and the prophets of the Lord have been speaking these things from day one, you know. And it is what it is. It's the return of our King, man. Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, you know, is setting the tone. As a matter of fact, let me get a couple scriptures. First of all, of course, we want to go to Matthew 24 and 7, where it says, let's start at 6. Oh, no, 5. Oh, shit. 24. 4. It says, and Yahushua, this Matthew's 24 and 4, just to set the tone on what's going on in the world right now. All right, it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, right? Because you have a lot of deception going on around in the world today, amongst the fold, people that are claiming to be in the know, claiming to be woke. I want to do a lesson on that by the individual that walked up to the camp yesterday. He seemed to be pretty knowledgeable on certain things. And in his mind, he felt like he was what they call woke. But there's a way that seems right unto a man, but the ender of is the ways of death. If knowing what he knew, and he wasn't out there teaching with us, and we could tell that he doesn't teach He's not awake. He's still sleeping. He's in a dream state. He's still headed for destruction, but in his mind, he's safe. He's found safety in the way he thinks and believes because he's chose not to listen to the prophecies that are being brought forth by Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. As a matter of fact, let me get Amos. Is it Amos? Chapter 3, I think. Is it Amos thing? Or is it Amos? Oh no, it's Amos chapter 3. It says, this is Amos 3 and 6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it? Right. So the trumpet's being blown. All right. Warnings being set of what's to come. But a lot of people are not taking heed to it. You know, there's only the certain ones that believe in Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai that are taking heed to this warning. As a matter of fact, they're the ones that's giving warning from Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Right. So shall there be an evil done in the city, and the Lord hasn't done it. So all these calamities that are happening in the world are being done by our great creator Yahweh. And he's going to bring forth judgment onto this place by his son Yahweh Shai, judgment and deliverance for his elect. All right, so all these things are being done. So don't get it twisted and get it confused. All this is being done through the power and will of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. So going back to Matthew's chapter 24, verse 4, it says, and Yahweh Shai said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, right? Because a lot of people want to believe this is just by chance and these things tend to happen. No, this is prophecy, man. This is judgment coming from Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. It says verse 5, it says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. Right. So there's a lot of people out there deceiving and having people falling behind them, and not giving people the proper information they need to take heed and to understand and to know what's to come. So they're going to be caught like a thief in the night. That's how Yahweh Shai is coming, like a thief in the night, to catch those that are in disbelief and that are still being deceived, right? Catch them unprepared. So you have to be prepared. All right. That's why shall a trumpet be blown in the city and people not be afraid? Right. When you hear a trumpet being blown, a warning sign being blown, what is the first thing you do? Prepare yourself. All right. And that's what the men of the Lord are doing by going out here on the highways and byways and letting people know what's to come and where the judgment is coming from. All right. It says, verse 6, it says, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. All right. So now, wars and rumors of war. Look at what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. All right. And that's ultimately going to bring forth a full, all-scale, hot World War III, the end-all, tell-all, you know? And it's all being brought by Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. It says, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All right. So now we've already seen famine, and that great earthquake is man, fourth death count up to close to 5,000 people, man. You know, and they're still looking for survivors, so that count's probably going to increase. You know, it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Right, so this is just a beginning, man. It's going to get worse because they got to implement the MOTB, which is the C-HIP. You know, they've already started with that with the, you know, the free throw, you know. So It's all about implementing their agenda of the New World Order. Okay. So this article says rescuers scramble in Turkey, Syria after quake kills 4,000 people. It says rescuers in Turkey and war ravaged Syria searched through the frigid night into Tuesday, hoping to pull more survivors from the rubble after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake killed more than 4,000 people and toppled thousands of buildings across a wide region. Authorities feared the death toll from Monday's pre-drawn earthquake and aftershocks would keep climbing as rescuers looked for survivors among tangles of metal and concrete spread across the region beset by Syria's 12-year civil war and refuge crisis. All right, so there's already war going on over there in Syria, and then all of a sudden in the middle of that, there's an earthquake. Survivors cried out for help from within mountains of debris as first responders contended with rain and snow. Seismic activities continued to rattle the region, including another jolt nearly as powerful as the initial earthquake, Man, so they're trying to, all these things raining, snowing, and still tremors going along while they're trying to rescue these people, man. Lord ain't playing, man. It says workers carefully pulled away slabs of concrete and reached for bodies as desperate families waited for news of loved ones. My grandson is 1.5 years old. Please help them, please. They were on the 12th floor of Imran Bahir, wept by her destroyed apartment building in the Turkish city of Adana on Monday. Tens of thousands who were left homeless in Turkey and Syria faced a night in the cold in the Turkish city of Gaziantep, a provincial capital about 33 kilometers from the epicenter. People took refuge in shopping malls, stadiums, mosques, and community centers. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan declared 7 days of national mourning. United States President Joe Biden called Erdogan to express condolences and offer assistance to the NATO ally. The White House said it was sending search and rescue teams to support Turkey's effort. The quake, which was centered in Turkey's southeastern province of Kahramanmaraş, sent residents of Damascus and Beirut rushing into the street and was felt as far away as Cairo. That's way in Egypt, right? It piled more misery upon a region that has seen tremendous suffering over the past decade. On the Syrian side, the area is divided between government-controlled territory and country's last opposition-held enclave, which is surrounded by Russian-backed forces. Turkey, meanwhile, is home to millions of refugees from the civil war. The rebel-held enclave, hundreds of families remain trapped in rubble. The oppression emergency organization known as the White Helmets said in a statement, the area is packed with some 4 million people placed from other parts of the country by the war. Many live in buildings that are already wrecked from military bombardments. It says, strained medical centers quickly filled with injured people. Rescue workers said some facilities had to be implemented, including a maternity hospital, according to the SAMS medical organization. Right, so there's a whole lot going on with this. It's like most cities were some of the cities were already wrecked through civil war, and there's a lot of people seeking refuge in bombarded buildings from the civil war. And then on top of that, you have the earthquake that shakes everything down to the ground and leaves it as rubble, and people are trapped in there. It says more than 7,800 people were rescued across the provinces, according to Aran Tatar, an official with Turkey's Disaster Management Authority. The region sits on top of a major fault lines and is frequently shaken by earthquakes. Some 18,000 were killed in similarly powerful quakes that hit northwest Turkey in 1999. The U.S. Geological Survey measured Monday's quake at 7.8 with the depths of 18 kilometers. Hours later, a 7.5 magnitude trembler, likely triggered by the first, struck more than 1,000 kilometers away. 100 kilometers away, Shalakia. The second jolt caused a multi-story apartment building in the Turkish city of Sanliurfa to topple onto the street in a cloud of dust as bystanders scream, according to the video of the scene, man. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on, man. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's you know, they're trying to fight through the rain, fight through the snow. Who knows if the war is going to kick back up, if they're still fighting. You know, and then you got the next door of what's going on with Ukraine, you know. So it says in Turkey alone, more than 5,600 buildings were destroyed. Authorities said hospitals were damaged and one collapsed in the city of Iskenderun. Bitterly cold temperatures could reduce the time frame that rescuers have to save trapped survivors, said Dr. Stephen Godby, an expert in natural hazards at Nottingham Trent University. The difficulty of working in areas beset by civil war would further complicate rescue efforts, he said. Offers of help from search and rescue teams to medical supplies and money poured in from dozens of countries, as well as the European Union and NATO. All right. The vast majority were for Turkey, with a Russian and even an Israeli promise of help to the Syrian government. But it was not clear if any would go to the devastated rebel-held pocket in the northwest. The opposition's Syrian civil defense described the situation in the enclave as disastrous. All right, so now, how are they going to be able to go in there and help those people with the rebels that are controlling those areas? So you got people that are possibly dying, and the rescuers can't even get to them. That's how tragically violent this area is. You know, even that people might be afraid to go give aid to these people because what's going on around those parts, you know? So basically, so I want to close it out with this. This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. It says, and that knowing the time is that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. All right. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light, man. And that light's being brought forth by the men of the Lord, in the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, to keep us enlightened and keep us informed on all the things that are being brought forth by the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai according to his will. All right, Lord willing, this lesson to edify and serve his purpose. With that, I'd like to say, Ka Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Harikah Kwadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the argument that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Shalom.